Hey Brickmaniacs, it is Lando here, and I'm joined today with Dan at the Designer's Library. Is that what we're calling this?
Yeah, I guess so. This is the library at Brickmania. This is formerly my office, now the library.
Yes, the kind of more of a building area that we're at here at Brickmania. Yeah. But we have a giant model on display for you. This is the Johnston, the USS Johnston.
It is.
Let's get right into it, Dan.
So the USS Johnston was a Fletcher-class destroyer built during World War II and served in the Pacific Fleet, specifically the 7th Fleet. And we are approaching the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Samar, which was part of the overall Battle of Leyte Gulf, part of the Philippines Liberation Campaign. So in October 1945, this was part of the 7th Fleet, specifically part of a unit called Taffy 3, which was a series of based around a core of 4 escort carriers. They were supporting the amphibious landings at Leyte Gulf, and they were on the 25th of October. They were cruising along off the coast of Samar Island when they were attacked by a superior Japanese force. Not just this whole, basically a part of the overall larger battle of Leyte Gulf, this 3-pronged battle, one of the biggest naval battles in history, actually. The center force of Japanese ships, which had previously eluded attack, had been attacked, thought to have turned away, and they fooled the American fleet commander, Admiral Halsey, into believing that they weren't a threat anymore. Halsey took his fleet to go pursue a decoy force of carriers up north, leaving Leyte Gulf largely undefended except for these amphibious, the ships that were designed to basically help the amphibious assault force.
Sure.
They were not surface combatants. These were not naval ships designed to fight battleships and cruisers and a superior force, which is exactly what happened. The destroyers, one of them among them, the USS Johnston, was part of this escort group escorting the carriers. Basically, when the Japanese force appeared, the commander of the Johnston, without orders, took his ship and immediately put his ship in between the Japanese force, the attacking Japanese force, and the escort carriers and other ships of Taffy 3. Immediately charged in between, started laying down a smoke screen. This is part of what Ernst Evans, the commander Ernst Evans of the ship, would eventually earn him posthumously, I should add, the Medal of Honor for his actions in the battle. So he attacked a superior force, including a number of Japanese battleships, taking his ship so close to the Japanese that they couldn't even depress the main guns of their big battleships to fight back. But repeatedly took his ship in, fired all 10 of his torpedoes at the Japanese fleet. They figure he hit at least 3 hits on one of the heavy cruisers, and repeatedly attacked ships as they were threatening the American the escort carriers. And I should say these are escort carriers. They didn't have any weapons on them that were really designed to be anti-ship weapons. They had fragmentation bombs. They had some depth charges. This is really like a lopsided battle.
They were not designed to go toe to toe with.
Yeah, this ship.
Kind of
there were 4 aircraft carriers, escort carriers. They were not. They had Wildcats, they had Avengers, but they were not able to go toe to toe with the Japanese fleet. They did. They put up such a aggressive fight that the Japanese eventually had to withdraw, thinking they were fighting a superior force of American full-size carriers and cruisers and larger American ships. When it was really the Johnston, 2 other destroyers, and 2 or 3 smaller destroyer escorts.
Wow.
So.
Crazy.
Yeah. So this is a Fletcher-class destroyer. This is the USS Johnston. This is perhaps the most famous Fletcher-class destroyer because of this battle. The Johnston was sunk in the battle, so was the Hull, USS Hull, and 2 other destroyer escorts.
Sure.
And of course, one of the escort carriers was destroyed by Japanese gunfire. Another one later destroyed by kamikaze attack.
Wow. Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about what prompted you to take this build on?
Well, I was originally contacted by the U.S. Navy, a representative from the History and Heritage Command. In fact, the commander had approached me and asked to build a ship, a Lego ship that they could bring to events that they participate in, like naval events, official U.S. Navy ship commissionings, things like that. They wanted a ship, a Lego ship, because they'd seen our Lego ships before. They knew that the Lego has a certain amount of interaction, a certain amount of openness, and people can relate to it. So let's build a Lego ship that we can bring around to events and other U.S. official U.S. Navy activities. And we settled on the USS Johnston because of its historical significance, and we're actually going to be releasing it about the time that the anniversary of the battle. So I will actually be traveling to the Washington Navy Yard to present the U.S. Navy with this ship.
That's going to be pretty awesome.
On the anniversary. It's going to be pretty cool.
Wow.
So what we did is we actually made an extra batch of 50 copies of the ship. The Navy's is a little bit different. The Navy's theirs is going to be glued together. That's just because it's going to be traveling around.
Just like all the models at the Legoland, right?
Right. But there's some requirements besides the gluing. They wanted it to be broken down so it can travel smaller.
Sure.
It's 4 feet long.
I mean, this thing it's massive. It's a nice little side profile.
It's a 48-inch long model, just under 48 inches. So if you do buy a display case, your display case needs to be 48 inches long, about 12 inches tall, 6.5 inches wide, or something like that. It does break down into actual 3 sections, and I could actually proceed.
Let's do it. Let's show that off here.
So I'm gonna have to get over here. So it does break down into 3 sections. It's designed to move. I mean, I'll put it back together as well. It's not going to be. It's not rocket science. We'll just show this part here. We don't have to show you the whole thing, but this gives you an idea of how it does break down.
So this would be really awesome to actually transport to shows or conventions or something.
The idea was I'd make like a suitcase kind of thing that I'm going to build a travel case for. Pull this one piece out of here. Take the whaleboat off. And we might as well take the whole thing apart while we're showing it off. So these pieces will have to come off separately, but they'll travel separately. There you go. There you have it. That is the complete.
So that would be really awesome for transporting. Again,
super simple.
Nice.
So if you are taking your ship to a show, you can throw it in a box relatively easy. And putting it back together is just.
This is showing some secret interior techniques as well.
Oh, it's no secret. That's
No?
Yeah. But you can flip it here. Let's actually I'll just show you the bottom.
Okay, now you're seeing everything.
Yeah, you'll see one section. But people ask, how did you do that? How do you do that? Well, look, it's all smoke and mirrors. No, it's actually a series of hinges and tiles just to get the right shape. So the hull shape is
absolutely. That's one of my favorite things of this model.
Yeah, let's look at this one. Take a look from the top. You can see how the hull shape is actually the shape of a ship, and it is a series of hinges. We're not just forcing the bricks into shape. There's hinges inside there, so it's not putting undue stress on the bricks. There's a little bit of bowing going on because we just wanted to get some extra, give that little bit of extra 10% of a realistic hull shape, but. So putting it together is a relatively simple task here. You can achieve complete rebuild in under. Yeah, I'll push it. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
Pushing?
Yep, I'm good.
I'm close.
These little guys go here. That's fine.
Got it? Oh, okay.
One there.
You got it.
Yeah, one there.
I helped, kind of.
You did it. Don't worry. Then the tile goes on there.
Okay. Right on.
Don't discredit yourself.
There we go. Putting the life raft back on.
That's not a life raft. That's actually a whaleboat.
A whaleboat.
The life rafts are these little guys.
Oh, okay. Right. Yes.
So, whaleboat meaning
going back and forth.
They don't have lifeboats on destroyers or Navy ships. Period. It's just you want to save your life, save your ship. So that's sort of the Navy rule. Go down with, or save the ship, I think is the rule.
Right.
Don't go down with your ship unless, of course, your ship is going down, but you're feeling suicidal. But seriously, though, fight to save your ship. So they do have these rafts. That's one thing about Navy ships. They'll have rafts. Other flotation devices, these little bins on the sides here, those would be full of flotation nets. So nets with buoys on them.
Okay.
So it's not like they're heartless and don't want to have save anybody if the ship does go down, but they're not going to waste time with and deck space with huge awkward lifeboats.
Sure.
In a battle situation, they're not going to have time to lower boats. They're just going to dive off the ship. And of course, every sailor does wear a life jacket.
Yes. If you want to maybe go section by section and talk about the armaments and different details.
Sure. Well, the Fletcher class destroyer is typically armed with 5 of these single turrets of 5-inch 38 caliber dual-purpose guns. Mm-hmm. Dual-purpose means that they can fire against either land targets, direct fire into sea targets, or they can be used as anti-aircraft guns. So one thing that they do have, this is a Mark 37 fire controller, is that the controller here has a rangefinder, has a radar on top that can not only detect range, but elevation, distance, and they can control from this radar director all 5 guns at once.
Wow.
So basically you got a crew of guys inside each one of these turrets, a little over a dozen guys inside of it, loading ammunition to the turret. As fast as they can load ammunition, these guns will fire, and they can all be controlled from this one central position. If that goes out, they can still fire each gun individually from the gun positions themselves.
Okay.
So they all have their own rangefinder and everything built into them. But typically speaking, it's more efficient to use the automatic fire control.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there's a fire control and there's a computer that goes with it. It's one thing that the U.S. Navy had a real hand up against their opponents. The Japanese had to do everything optically. They had to do all their calculations manually, whereas the Americans had these fire control computers and radar to really assist in this process. So those are the main armament.
Yeah, moving down, you have some texture printed life rafts.
Yes, there are life rafts on here. Those aren't part of the fire control system, but the armaments. But yes, there are 6 of them throughout the ship.
Yep.
As far as since we're talking about printed elements,
sure.
There is a printed brick for this particular hull number is 557 USS Johnston. The standard, the ensign is actually that's another print as well. The sticker, the stern has some stickers on it because of where the printing, the numbers would need to be falls on a bunch of different elements. We had to put a sticker on there.
Yeah, unfortunately.
There are other sticker sets though. There are sticker sets for the USS Hull, which is the other Fletcher class destroyer from the Battle of Samar. Plus we did the USS Kidd and the USS Cass and Young, which are actually 2 museum ships that still exist today.
Oh, wow.
So I figured we'd give you some options if you wanted to put your hometown destroyer in. You could.
Cool. Yeah.
So we do have other sticker options. Of course, you'll just have to put the sticker over the 557.
What do we have next?
As far as armaments go,
okay,
you have 40 millimeter guns, twin 40s. So there'd be 2, 4, 5 of the twin 40s. So 10 40 millimeter cannons. These are the Bofors. Classic Bofors, interspersed mostly in the tails, the fan tail, and the side, the waist positions here. Yeah, they do elevate too. I should.
Oh, cool! Show that off.
They should point these out. The guns do actually rotate and elevate, so you can see that. There are also these 20 millimeter guns. There's 4 at the waist position, and then 3 more on the fan tail.
Yeah, I like that. You want to help me tilt this towards the camera so you can show off what it looks like?
It's a little heart-shaped nest.
I did really like that detail on there, so I thought that was kind of cool.
So if you've seen my bigger Fletcher ship, you'll have seen that before. Another thing, the other armament you have these 10 torpedo tubes. So the difference between the 2 torpedo tubes, one has this armored case on it, this armored protection. So the reason being that is its proximity to this gun position. So if there's guys out here operating the torpedo tube, they will be shielded from the blast of that gun. That's why there's 2 different. They look different. This one, because it's not located next to a 5-inch gun, doesn't have that shield on it. It does have has torpedo or depth charge racks and depth charge throwers, and of course the big depth charge racks in the back.
Back here.
Yeah. So they can shoot them 6 projectors, or they can just roll them off the back to 2 torpedo racks.
Wow.
I believe that's it for armament.
Yeah.
You do have, of course, the 2 different radars. There's the air search and the ground search radar. Those are cranes. There's one here and one here. Those would be for loading the torpedoes in the torpedo tubes. So.
Very cool. So this thing is decked out, obviously, with all the armaments that accurately represented here, as well as pretty much every detail that you could fit on this thing.
Yeah, I did as much as I could.
That's cool.
It's 196 scale. So 1 inch equals 12 feet.
Okay. Have we done other models?
1 inch equals 8 feet.
Okay. Have you done other models at this scale before?
No, I haven't. I really like this scale. This is unique. This is about 1/3 the scale minifig scale.
Okay.
So my other Fletcher class destroyer that I made minifig scales is roughly 3 times longer than this. It's 11 feet. This one's just under 4.
Very cool.
So. Yeah, it's a cool scale, and it would be great to do other ships. So I'm hopeful that I'll be able to get additional ships like this. I have another hull. I've had other ships next to this. It looks great when you have more than one of them. So a fleet would be awesome. But
any battleships planned?
Not yet.
How big would that be at this scale?
So in real life, this is about just under half as long as let's say the USS Missouri or something.
Okay.
So yeah, 2.5 times as long.
That'd be cool.
A battleship would be like 10 feet long.
Maybe someday. That is cool that this is modular. You mentioned something about how different destroyers might have there's variable lengths on some of them.
Well,
depending on which one model.
The USS. This is a Fletcher class.
Sure.
So there's different classes, and of course, as they get into the gearing classes, they did stretch. The gearings were basically the same hull, just stretched.
Sure.
So it would be about 8 bricks longer. So if you wanted,
hypothetically could shift this thing into transform that into that.
Right. Well, you'd have to rebuild all the superstructure. Yeah. All the guns are different. So possibly someday, maybe offering some sort of like we could do a build to order system. So if you wanted a destroyer, now that we have the basics for the hull down. And I built it a couple other ones. We could do different ships, different classes of the basic, Fletcher, Gearing, Sumner theme. It would be quite easy at this point. You just have to rebuild the superstructure, but we could do it in different colors. So this dark gray, this is like the measure. I think it's a measure 21. This is what in 1944 this was standard. All the U.S. fleet was basically painted dark gray.
Right. And including the wood on the decks, right?
Yeah, well, this one doesn't have wood.
No, it's not wood at all.
Destroyers are all metal.
Okay, right.
You don't start getting into wood decks. So cruisers are bigger.
Okay.
Cruisers and battleships would have wood decks, and aircraft carriers. But yeah, the wood deck has its own purpose.
Sure.
It's a safe topside weight. The armor level. This thing is very lightly armored, but it is armored all the way around. The deck is armored.
Oh wow!
Not much. It's armored against like machine gun fire. Okay. The only real serious armor is on the turrets, the director, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, you have minimal armor on these things. They call them tin cans because it's basically just a big metal box in the water.
Well, now I know.
Yeah.
There we go. Cool.
It's all engine, really, because these things travel through the water like 40 miles an hour, 45. You can water ski off of
That's pretty crazy to think about, like being able to do that. Like that's booking. That's fast.
It's like a knife through the water, riding a rocket. So
that's cool. Anything else you want to go over on this kind of unprecedented kit here?
No, I mean we're releasing 50 of these. Thanks to pre-orders, we've already sold about 2/3 of them. So there will be, when release day, there will be some available. I don't think we're going to restock this. I think if we do something else with these, unless there's like a major outcry, hey, you didn't make enough, we might bring it back. But I think we might switch to a build-to-order system,
sure,
which would actually be substantially more expensive because we have to individual stickers, individual instructions. So if you're looking for a Fletcher class destroyer, this is probably your best bet right here.
There you go. Well, this is cool. It's kind of a really unique piece in the Brickmania kit library. So,
yeah, it's totally unique. Nothing. I want to do more. I really enjoyed this project.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the possibility of doing more, but that just depends on if people want them or not.
There you go. Well, this is the all-new USS Johnston, designed by Dan Siskind. Yeah, this thing's bristling with armaments and.
It's fun. It was a fun project. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, good job. With that, that's the episode. For more information on this kit, please check out brickmania.com. Thanks for watching.
Oh, it's heavier inside.
How many Brickmaniacs does it take to...
All right, you pull that.
This is an actual unboxing box video.
It is. Holy crap, there's peanuts going everywhere. Ah! Cascading peanuts.
Dan, you made a mess on the floor again.
So this is just a demonstration. When we get it put into its real position, we will pull all that plastic off. Look at that.
Bam.
You couldn't get a better fit. So I will find a link. In fact, I have one.
We're going to keep it here.
Well, it's fine for now. Okay. This is just a demonstration of what it
You got to keep it clean.
Yeah.
For now.
So, perfect, sweet little display case. It's not a bad. I think it was under $200 including shipping.
Wow.
So.
Under $200 bucks?
Under $200 bucks. Super heavy duty acrylic base and stand.